Tonight, as the world turns, the markets plunge, another massive global sell-off and a panic about a recession. But is there a turnaround in sight? I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, the odds may favor Senator Obama right now, but some Las Vegas casino owners are betting big on Senator McCain. We'll follow the money. And Steve Hartman with much ado about mutton.
There's something about a child and an animal that is just endearing to people, but at the same time, they like to see a good rat.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. Fear swept around the world today like a giant tidal wave as financial markets opened in one time zone after another. Investors dumped their stock, fearing a big global recession. Here in New York, the Dow fell more than 500 points early in the session before recovering some and closing with a loss of just over 300 points. It was the end to a very bad week in which the Dow lost nearly 5.5% and finished at its lowest level in 5.5 years. Here's our business correspondent, Anthony Mason.
Wall Street woke up with an anxiety attack after overnight Japan's stock market had plunged more than 9%, Hong Kong 8%, and Britain 5%. Before the opening bell, Dow futures, the trades betting on whether the market will go up or down, fell so far so fast that trading had to be suspended, and stocks look poised to plunge. When the bell finally rang, the Dow did tumble nearly 500 points, but then steadied.
We didn't get that sell-off as hard as we thought it was. And what was important is that we opened and we stayed there.
The crash many feared never came, but for investors, the wild ride is getting harder and harder to watch.
It seems like it's like a snowball going downhill.
It's hard and it's scary.
You definitely got to worry about jobs.
Corporate America this week has announced more than 27,000 job cuts. That's not including Chrysler, which today said it'll lay off a quarter of its white-collar workforce, more than 4,000 employees. Meanwhile, on the home front, sales of existing homes were up 5.5% last month. But the median price for a house has plummeted 9% over the past year, from more than $210,000 to less than $192,000. It's all bleeding back into the markets, where the whipsaw volatility is a symptom of the credit crisis.
People need cash, and where they can raise cash is in the market.
The sign in one trading booth asks every investor's question: is it safe yet?
So this market is what, still fearful?
Fearful, confused.
Trader Jonathan Corpina believes stocks still haven't hit bottom.
You think the Dow could go how low?
I think we still have another 1,800 points to land.
You think we need to go down to the 6,000 range to clean this out?
I do.
Whether it's up or down, many here sense the market is on the verge of a massive move.
Something very, very powerful is looming. And I suspect what happens over the next 5 to 8 days will be something we'll be talking about for generations.
Some traders are actually rooting for a washout, a panic-driven collapse that'll finally find a bottom for this market, from which it can begin to rally back. Katie?
Anthony Mason, thank you. Arthur Levitt, former SEC chairman, served from 1993 to 2001. Mr. Levitt, there was so much panic before the market even opened this morning. Trading had to be halted. What happened?
There was huge uncertainty. Rumors were around that our markets would be closed in the same way the Russian markets closed till Tuesday. There was just blood in the street. People were so frightened because of uncertainty and fear on the part of investors.
Are we in for more of these kinds of roller coaster rides in the days and weeks to come?
Yes, I think the uncertainty has not yet been run out of the market, but investors, in my judgment, would make a great mistake by giving up and selling everything. We're closer to a bottom than to a top in our markets because they are electronic, have handled this extraordinary volatility extremely well.
Our economy has been driven by credit, fueled by consumer spending and the accumulation of debt. How can we break the addiction to debt and keep the economy growing?
The addiction to debt is being squeezed out of us. The products that have caused this debacle are not going to be around anymore. Subprime mortgages our history. Behavior has changed. There isn't a person that I know that hasn't changed their buying habits. That's going to continue. This is a kind of a self-correcting phenomena.
Democrats have perhaps predictably blamed the policies of the Bush administration for this current crisis. Is that fair in your view?
I don't think it's fair. I think this crisis goes back several decades, and I think the Democrats and Republicans have an equal share in terms of failures to oversee this market.
Arthur Levitt, former chairman of the SEC, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Meanwhile, oil and gas prices continue to fall, and can you believe it? We're now paying less for gas than we were a year ago. Oil fell more than $3 today to close just over $64 a barrel. And as Elizabeth Palmer reports, OPEC decided today to cut oil production to try to stop the slide.
Jittery markets the world over waited for OPEC's decision. And when it came, the production cut was even bigger than expected.
1.5 million.
OPEC produces almost 37 million barrels of oil a day. By reducing supply by 1.5 million barrels, it hopes to stop the price of oil from tumbling any further. From a high back in July of $147 a barrel to less than half that now. While OPEC did present a united front at its emergency meeting today, a lot of the member countries are deeply unhappy about this planned production cut because it means a serious drop in revenue for them.
I think the united front is obviously a political stance. I think the numbers reflect a different story. And it's going to be pretty difficult to implement deep cuts.
In other words, some OPEC members will simply ignore today's agreement and keep on pumping. But in an economic downturn where demand for oil is already plummeting, analysts think that will send the price plunging even further to $50 a barrel. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
Just a few months ago, gas topped $4 a gallon, and drivers responded by buying less of it. Today, the government reported that in August, Americans drove 15 billion fewer miles than in August of 2007. That's a drop of more than 5.5%. Turning now to the presidential race, Barack Obama is in Honolulu visiting his grandmother, who's gravely ill. Madeline Dunham is 85 and recently broke her hip. Meanwhile, John McCain is stumping for votes in Colorado, yet another state that's voted Republican in the past but is leaning Democratic this time. As Chip Reed reports, some GOP insiders are starting to grumble about the state of the McCain campaign.
John McCain is banking on a come-from-behind victory in Colorado. And who better to have on his team in Denver today than former Broncos quarterback John Elway?
Some pundits I watch on TV are already counting you out, but I know a thing or two about comebacks.
But even many Republicans are now openly wondering if it's too late. Others are second-guessing McCain's decisions. The latest, former Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge, who told a Pittsburgh newspaper that McCain can't win without Pennsylvania, and suggested that if McCain had chosen him as his running mate instead of Sarah Palin, quote, I think the dynamics would be different in Pennsylvania. I think we'd be foolish not to admit it publicly. But McCain appears unbowed, campaigning with a newfound burst of energy.
Fight for a new direction for our country. Fight for what's right for America.
And the campaign has narrowed the focus to a few basic themes. First, that Barack Obama plans to increase taxes on people like Joe the plumber. Second, that Obama is not ready to handle an international crisis, a point made in a new McCain TV ad using the words of Obama running mate Joe Biden.
Mark my words, it will not be 6 months before the world gets Barack Obama.
McCain is also now aggressively separating himself from President Bush, a tactic that's getting a lot of attention from Saturday Night Live.
When you think of John McCain, think of me, George W. Bush. Think of this face.
And there's a new poll coming out tonight from CBS Channel 4 here in Denver showing that Obama has expanded his lead to double digits over McCain, making it all the more difficult for McCain to stage a comeback. Katie?
All right, Chip Reed. Chip, thanks so much. Bob Schieffer is our chief Washington correspondent and anchor of Face the Nation. Bob, the polls are not working in his favor. There's apparently, as we just saw, some finger pointing already going on. But you say don't count John McCain out.
I don't think you ever can, Katie. He's just come back from the dead too many times. But with this continuing bad economic news, I think it's going to be very hard for any Republican, even one who says he's a maverick like John McCain. And here's what's going to make it even harder. What usually happens in primaries is that Democrats move to the left, Republicans move to the right to build support among the party activists, the true believers, the people who are willing to go out and work and give money. Then they move back to the center during the general election to go after the independents. McCain has done just the opposite. He ran to the left of the other Republicans during the primaries. Then instead of moving to the center, he moved to the right. He put Sarah Palin on the ticket, which pleased the right, but as we're now seeing in these polls, her appeal does not go much beyond that. It's going to be very, very hard for John McCain. Katie.
All right. Bob Schieffer. Bob, thank you as always. And Sunday on Face the Nation, by the way, Bob's guests will include Governor Tim Pawlenty of Minnesota and former Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin. Coming up next right here on the CBS Evening News, they're doubling down in Las Vegas. Why the casino chiefs are betting on John McCain. Money is the lifeblood of a presidential campaign, and there's plenty of it in Vegas. This year, movers and shakers there are putting their money on one of the candidates. Cheryl Atkinson follows the campaign money all the way back to Sin City.
Las Vegas embraces 36 million people a year, each looking to get lucky, get rich. But the casinos aren't nearly so welcoming when it comes to Washington regulations. And in Campaign 08, they're leaving nothing to chance.
You might not know it, but America's gambling obsession has become a major force in the U.S. economy. All that money pouring into casinos and wagered in sports betting amounts to $85 billion a year.
And the handful of tycoons who control the gambling industry are playing an unprecedented role.
Thank you.
Putting all their money behind John McCain in Nevada, a key battleground state. McCain's Vegas team of 5 includes billionaire Sheldon Adelson of Las Vegas Sands and longtime Democrat Steve Wynn of Wynn Resorts. They're acting as bundlers, mega fundraisers who critics say get special access. One of their posh events last June carried a $1,000 ante. $10,000 got donors into a VIP reception with McCain, and $33,000 bought access to an even more exclusive reception. The casino bosses wouldn't talk to us, so we got the scoop from Ray Poirier of Gaming Today.
What's different in this presidential election that would motivate them to get that heavily involved?
I don't think they've ever encountered this kind of concern in the past.
Poirier says they worry Barack Obama would be a big regulator and cost them billions.
It could bring problems with unions, could bring problems with taxes.
As for McCain, he too was once viewed as hostile to gambling after he tried to ban sports betting. He failed after the gaming industry flooded Congress with campaign donations.
This is all about money. This is all about $10 million in campaign contributions by the gambling industry.
That was 2001. Today, McCain is accepting donations from some of the same players. His office didn't return our calls, but according to federal records, his gaming-related donations reached $2 million or more. In contrast, Obama's just gotten $50,000 to $100,000 from one fundraiser with casino interests, the wife of resort owner Steve Wynn. Like Vegas, politics is always a gamble. But it seems gambling industry honchos are hoping to better their odds by increasing John McCain's. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Meanwhile, it appears many people can't wait to vote, and they don't have to. More than 30 states allow early voting, and state election officials say voters are taking advantage of that in record numbers. It's expected that some 40 million people, 1/3 of the electorate, will have already cast ballots by Election Day. And what are those people thinking? Coming up next, how the numbers in all those presidential polls can add up to a lot of confusion. The only thing predictable about presidential polls lately is how unpredictable they are. If you're like me, you probably wonder how some can show a fairly close race while others show a double-digit spread. We put the question to our senior political correspondent, Jeff Greenfield.
Great news for Obama. He's 13 points up. No, wait. Great news for McCain. He's only 1 point behind. Or is it 3? Or 7? or 10? Well, it's all of those. The spread between the candidates depends on which poll you're looking at, and it's the same with key states. Obama's up either 2 points in Virginia or 10 points in Virginia. McCain is up 1 point in Ohio, or he's 12 points down in the Buckeye State. How can the race vary this widely? Because of the way polls work, or don't work. First, different polls make very different assumptions about who is likely to vote.
If you assume that you have to have voted before, you probably undercount young voters. If you trust them, and when they tell you they're definitely going to vote, you may be representing them accurately. You may possibly be overestimating their share of the electorate.
Then there's the cell phone issue. Today, almost 12% of Americans don't have landline phones at all. Some polls, like CBS's, can reach them. But polls that use automatic dialing techniques can't.
The cell phone-only people are disproportionately young, but not all of them are young. There still are a significant number of middle-aged folks who are only reachable on their cell phones.
In fact, one study shows that polls including cell phone-only folks have a 3-point higher Obama lead than polls that don't include such voters. Another point, when a poll says it has a margin of error, you have to understand what it means. It means it could be off by 3 points in either direction for either candidate. So, if Obama has a 50-45 lead, that could mean anything from a 53-42 edge to a 48-47 edge for McCain. And finally, some polls can be just plain wrong, and people can change their minds. This is why Kevin Nealon on Saturday Night Live years ago reported that in a recent poll, 85% said if the election were held today, they'd really be surprised. We need to chill about all these numbers, Katie.
There seems to be more of them every day. Jeff Greenfield. Jeff, thank you. In other news, the mother of actress and singer Jennifer Hudson was found shot to death today at her home in Chicago. That's according to a family friend who says Hudson's mother, Darnell Donnerson, was one of 2 people found dead in the house. Police didn't identify the other victim. Hudson won an Oscar for her role in the movie Dreamgirls. And I'll be right back with Assignment America. Finally tonight, what are your kids doing this weekend? Well, you could take them to the rodeo, one that's more wool than bull. Steve Hartman has tonight's Assignment America.
Coming soon to a fairground near you, what may be the ultimate fair attraction.
There's something about a child and an animal that is just endearing to people, but at the same time, they like to see a good wreck.
They call it mutton busting. It used to be something just farm kids did at rodeo intermissions. Until businessman Tommy Gidone of Pueblo, Colorado decided to bring the ewes to all of yous.
I got to thinking, why not let every kid do this?
Did you enjoy mutton busting?
Yeah.
Are you going to ever do it again?
No.
Today, Tommy has 3 of these exact setups touring fairs and festivals across America. For a small entrance fee, any kid 6 and under 60 pounds can ride.
She's ready to go.
Or not ride, as the case may be.
You gotta hang on.
And I shouldn't say it's funny, but what the reality of it is
it's funny.
It's funny.
Oh, she lost her boots.
Plus, it's a real competition.
She lost both of them.
Kid who stays on the longest for each heat gets a gold buckle the size of a pack of Pop-Tarts.
It's so shiny.
6-year-old Riley Hamilton has been dreaming of a buckle ever since last year's Colorado State Fair.
Did you mention this to your mom throughout the year that you wanted to do this?
Once.
Oh, 1,000 times, I hear.
All year long, we've been building towards this.
Yeah.
Riley and his mom Sharon are typical mutton busters. Far from farmers. Sharon's a suburban soccer mom, and Riley had never even seen a real sheep before deciding, oh yeah, gotta do it, bring it home to buckle.
Riley Hamilton, you're up next. He's 6 years old, he's from Pueblo West, Colorado. He's 50 pounds soaking wet.
Unfortunately, Riley's first attempt didn't go so well.
He is mad.
His second try,
Here we go, Riley, you're out.
almost worse. Certainly, no one would have blamed Riley if he just quit right then and joined a boys' choir. But no.
Ready when you are.
Because there comes a point in every young person's life when a kid's just gotta prove himself to himself. Riley won that buckle. And you can bet tonight his head's held high And his pants, too. Tommy says his next plan is to start a national competition where kids will mutton bust for, believe this, a $50,000 scholarship. Could you imagine?
Wow, that was a very cute story.
It was mutton, honey.
On a serious note, though, I know they wear helmets, but did those kids get hurt because they're so little?
Really, they haven't had many serious injuries. A couple broken bones, but other than that, it's a lot safer than it looks, obviously.
Okay, and they have that soft dirt to
Yes,
fall
they make the dirt real soft.
Yeah, so tell me about next week. You have the Great Pumpkin?
It could be. We'll see. Could be if this year we may have, as growers continue to push for larger and larger gourds, it could be that this year we see the world's first 1-ton pumpkin.
Wow.
I'll report on the incredible efforts underway to get us there next Friday night.
All right, looking forward to that, Steve.
Thanks.
Good to see you. Very official up at the desk,
I
by
know.
the way. And that is the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Katie Couric in New York. Thank you for watching this week. I'll see you again on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend. Good night.